in today's episode is let's deep dive into each and every one of these 5 love languages. And already I think as we go through these, you'll already start placing yourself into a strong category of saying that this might be my primary love language. And by identifying this, what we're trying to achieve is to say that maybe there is a miscommunication between you and your spouse, or you and your partner, or you and your friends, or you and your parents, or you and your children, right? And how can we pinpoint what that is? Let's identify what their love language is. Let's identify what our love language is. And let's see how we can better accommodate one another, because what happens then is you're strengthening the overall relationship. This can be applied to your work relationships. This can be applied to so many different things in life, or so many different relationships in life. So what we're going to do is we're going to deep dive into each and every one of these 5 love languages. We're also, as always, going to do some research and share some additional research with you guys throughout the course of this episode. And then we'll wrap it up, as we always do, with a real life tips section of saying, now that you know these things, how can you apply it to your life, and how can you break it down for yourself to remember it better and to actually start taking action? And when I read the first love language is acts of service, I instantly got drawn to it.
Yes, definitely. I actually also think you're in this. This was one of them that I thought appeals to you quite a bit. Maybe not so much me. I don't know if I really fall into this category, but this is usually someone that wants to help. They want to lighten loads. They're usually the kind of people that would come and offer help and extend a hand and want to lift burden from other people. They might be the guy that, if you're married to such a husband or such a wife, they'll make the breakfast, they'll sort out the dinners, they'll go out of their way to try and help and smoothen things out. Now, the more I talk about this, the more I feel like I'm not that guy, as bad as it feels. Yeah. But I would love to be that guy, but I certainly am not the type of person that literally would go out of my way to just help and lighten loads for other people. I will do so for those closest to me, but even then it doesn't come naturally.
What you're also saying is that not only people whose primary love language is acts of service not only love to serve others and love to get things done and love to get things done for them, but also receiving tasks from the other person, right? So if my primary love language is acts of service, and you come with any of the other ones that we'll discuss now, like you give me gifts and things like that, it is going to hold some value to me, but not as much as when you go do the dishes, or when you go wash my car for me, or do something like that, because your actions speak louder than words. And I think Dr. Chapman really stated it in such a beautiful way. He said different people with different personalities give and receive love in different ways. And that's what it comes down to, right? Is that the way that I receive love, or the things that I value when people show me quote unquote love, might be completely different to the things that you value in a relationship, or the things that you 100%. See as love, right?
So I'm kind of neutral. I do enjoy it. I never ever brush it off or push it away when I'm receiving it, but I may not be the one initiating it every single time. At the same time. So you need to be careful. And the reason I say this, I've got a wife that is very much a physical touch person. She wants to be held sometimes and cuddled and just kind of taken care of from a physical closeness perspective. She always has the kids also sitting on her lap next to her. She never ever would sit in any area where they're not either sitting on her lap or right next to her. And I need to kind of be careful from time to time, especially in the very, very hot summer times where you can't even hold his hands and it gets all clammy and, so I need to be very careful not to be physically neglectful of any kind of touch with her as my wife.
Exactly. If you've derived some great value from our show thus far, please take a second to rate and review us on the platform that you're tuned in on. This will really help us to grow the show and reach more and more people, to spread the positivity and change more and more lives. So it will literally just take you a second to rate and review us, and who knows, perhaps you could directly be responsible for changing someone's life today. We look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Until then, cheers.